Silver is a divestment opportunity. Right now, I see everything opposite, right? I don't see the dollar as money. I see gold and silver as money. I don't see investment opportunities. I see divestment opportunities, right?
Right.
When you're on the summit of a huge pyramid, of a huge mountain, like could you stick like a pole in the mountain and then climb the pole and get even higher? I mean, you could build the mountain even higher and like try to take dirt from a few feet below you and just like pile the summit a little bit higher just so you can say that you went a little bit higher in the mountain. But
Right.
like, is it really worth it? I mean, you're gonna fall, and if you fall, you're gonna fall down the entire thing, right? So yeah, so if you're asking me like what opportunities do I see to invest, you're like, I'm picturing it like I'm on a mountain, I'm on the summit, it's very hard to breathe, and I'm not saying you're asking me, you're just asking me, you're just an interviewer, you're asking me a
Right, right.
question. When I'm asked that question, it's like I'm being asked, well, how much higher do you think you can build this summit, and then so you can tiptoe slightly higher so that you can say I got even higher than the peak of Mount Everest because I want to
Right.
be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Rafi Farber warns that the US dollar is nearing a catastrophic collapse, not just in value but in viability, as it's fundamentally a credit instrument backed by government debt, not real money like gold or silver. As the Fed pumps trillions into repo markets and balance sheets balloon, Farber sees the endgame unfolding, where the dollar becomes worthless and only precious metals hold true value. He believes the gold to silver ratio is flashing red, signaling a rush toward real assets before the public wakes up and silver explodes in price. In the face of hyperinflation, societal panic, and potential systemic failure, Farber urges preparation through community building, local asset control, and ownership of tangible essentials, food, real estate, and power, suggesting a return to decentralized, goal-based economic life.
Let's say I did it, and then there's a slight breeze, and then I fall over and kill myself. So I don't want to do that. I want to get down. I want to
Right.
climb down. I don't want to invest in anything. And the dollar itself, and the Canadian dollar, and all other currencies are an investment. Holding cash is an investment in what? An investment in the debt of the government, of the central bank that issues those liability units in exchange for the debt of that government. It's an
Yeah.
investment in the debt of the government. I don't want to invest in the debt of anybody because I know it's all going away. I want to divest. So you asked me about silver. What signal is it telling me that the gold to silver ratio is so high? It's telling me two things, and I don't know which proportions it's telling them to me in, but it's telling me two things. I don't know which one is stronger. Either the banks, it's telling me that the banks are getting worried about the banks that own the gold derivatives, and a lot of the banks hold the physical. J.P. Morgan has like a whole bunch of metal in its vaults. So banks do own or they custodian the physical, and they have claims to the physical through the futures. Whatever, whoever owns the gold is saying, I don't really trust this paper anymore so much, so I'm going to pay more I'm going to pay more of the paper for the gold. And the fact that the silver is so low relative to gold is telling me that the public is not really cognizant of this yet. And
Right.
usually they don't wake up slowly, right? They wake up slowly from let's say a COVID illusion, when then it takes years for them to get out of it.
Right.
But when they panic, as they will panic when they go into silver, it's not going to be a slow panic. It's going to be a fast panic because the silver is their money. So it's going to go from, what is it, 32 to, I don't know, $400 or $500 in a few months. I don't know. Maybe it's going to go to 100 first. But
Right.
whatever it's going to be faster than any of us expected, is the point. What do I do in my first 3 months if the dollar is coming to an end and I already have gold and silver?
Yeah.
What do I do? Is the question like if the dollar really isn't working and we're in like a panic Armageddon
Oh, yeah.
type situation?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, like, there's a-
so if we're in an Armageddon situation where in an Armageddon situation, the price of everything in gold and silver terms is going to be phenomenally cheap, like extremely cheap. And so what would I do? I would take my stacks and I would buy things. I would buy, like, if somebody can't, if I would buy like all the houses on my block. I would buy a few blocks. I would create like an enclave of stuff that I own, not
Nice.
so I could make money, but just so that I can declare myself my fiefdom and say this is my area, and then find the people who are armed and say, look, you patrol the border. I don't think I'm actually going to do this. I don't think I think other people will do that, and I'll just hoping I'll be some kind of part, but I'm just imagining what would I do if I'm the only guy who has any money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would create a border. I would say, okay, where's the farmland? Who owns the farmland? I would go to them and say, give me your farmland, and then I'll pay you this, and then you can continue your shipments for whoever you're selling it to, and then whoever you're selling it to, I'll see what their situation is. I'm gonna like basically inspect the supply chain, see who has anything, call up other people with gold and silver, saying, okay, the supply chain goes like this. The farmer sells to that guy, who sells to this guy, sells to that guy. Everybody, you have this amount, you have that amount. You buy that guy, you buy this guy, you buy that guy, and then we'll have a functioning supply chain right here in our little area.
Yeah, you
And
have
then
built.
we can get things going, because basically the problem with an apocalypse or an Armageddon like that is not that it's not like a war apocalypse where all the capital is destroyed, like there's a nuclear bomb and then it's just like a big hole and there's nothing there. Everything is still there. There's just no fuel to run it. It's like your car runs out of gas, so you got to find someone with gas. So instead of finding someone with gas, you find someone with money. Then you say, put the gas in there, put the gas in there, and then you get it moving again.
Right.
But in small localized circles. You're not trying to like restart the entire planet. It's not going to work.
Yeah. It'd
You
be
try to
like
restart small circles.